Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Gun Shop. I'm Niels Hansen, aka Guns for Hire, and this is where I talk about video games, tech news, or really anything that I find interesting that I think you, the viewer, might find interesting as well. Thank you so much for all the likes and the comments you guys have been dropping on the other Gun Shop episodes. Greatly appreciated. Really, I do, it feels good to be doing these kind of videos again, and I'm glad that some of you are enjoying it. For those of you that don't like this sort of thing, like, what is this doing on You Always Win? There's a simple solution. Don't click on the video. That was a good little flow there. Simply look for Gun Shop or this mug on the thumbnail if you don't like this kind of stuff, if you just want video games, if that's what you're looking for, You Always Win, just avoid these altogether, and we're all going to be a happy family here. Two things I want to talk about today. One is the E3 convention is going to be open to the public. If you guys don't know, it's a huge convention every year. I've been 3 times. I think all 3 times I was with Meatwagon. We went there, once invited by Activision, another time invited by NVIDIA, I'm thinking, or was it EA? I don't know, whatever. And another time through our studio, Maker Studio, we got invited for that. Anyway, I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into what to expect there. Is it worth it? Should you go? That sort of thing there. Just my opinion on it. But before I get into that, what I want to talk about is the PS4 Pro Boost mode. I almost said PS4 4. No, there's just one 4 on there, people. PS4 Pro Boost mode that's been activated through an update or firmware update on the Pro. If you guys have that, supposed to magically and drastically change performance of games, stable frame rates and all that. And I want to compare that, not necessarily in detail, spec for spec, to the Xbox Scorpio. Is it Xbox One Scorpio? Whatever, Scorpio. The new upcoming, blazing, crazy 4K games, 4K everything system that Microsoft is going to be putting out. Because there's a lot of sort of debate back and forth. I'm just going to get into this right away. The PS4 itself, this is just my opinion. Remember, I'm not saying this is a fact. You may completely disagree, and that's cool, man. If you have a different opinion, right on. And share that opinion as well in the comment section. I got no problem with that. I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just sharing my opinion, and that's it. But I think that the PS4 Pro is what the PS4 should have been in this generation. We went from the PS3 that was starting to play, 1080 games, 60 frames, because developers started to really know the architecture, started utilizing that hardware in there properly. Even the Xbox 360, you know what I mean? They started using it properly. The games were a lot better. They were a lot more efficient. And then we all of a sudden got into the next-gen systems. The next-gen systems didn't really, to me, feel like next-gen systems. They just felt a little bit better. More games in 1080. More games and not even necessarily really stable at 60 frames. A lot of games had a lot of fluctuation. Some of them didn't even go in there. We're still getting 720 games. Not acceptable on the next-gen or the current-gen systems as they are now. I think that's a little bit ridiculous, actually. So the PS4 Pro, where it's almost, especially with this boost mode, should be able to do across-the-board 1080p, 60 frames. I'm not saying that every game has to have that and needs 60 frames or has to be 1080, but the option should be there. And a lot of these games where they're coming out 720 or 900p or whatever the case may be, it's not because they're like, you know what, I think it'll look really better if we lower the resolution to 720. That is a great idea. This giant, vast open world with lush vegetation would look so much better at a lower resolution. No. Limitations, developers not knowing how to utilize the hardware, or maybe the features aren't there. Maybe the hardware's not good enough. So I do honestly feel like they should have just put out. But of course, with Microsoft, it's there's good things when we have competition. They try and please us as consumers. They try and give us the best that they can because they want to outdo the other guy. But sometimes it causes them to both rush to the market with subpar hardware. And I think that's what happened with the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. The PS4 Boost, or PS4 Pro rather, with the Boost, not just the PS4 Pro, because it's the PS4 Pro, it's really good. Now with the Boost, it's even more stable. Then that's what the PS4 should have been, hands down. At least in my opinion, that's the way it should have been. I don't like this. I don't like that I bought a PS4 and then not even that long after, PS4 Pro version, the version which you thought the PS4 was going to be. Nah, man, I feel ripped off. Same thing with the Boost. Obviously, it was capable of it. They rushed it out again. They're like, Scorpio's coming out. Well, we've got the Pro, and that's coming out. And again, not ready for the market. You know what? Get your crap settled first, Sony and Microsoft. You know, I'm not, it's not, I wouldn't even say Microsoft at this point here, but both of them rush to the market. They're too busy trying to compete against, we're losing as consumers. We're getting this subpar stuff, but we're chomping at the bit as gamers. We want that next gen stuff. I don't think it was next gen. The PS4 Pro with Boost is the system that we all wanted and deserved as consumers who continue to buy these, you know, these consoles and everything like that. Now, in terms of that versus the Xbox Scorpio, the Scorpio, people are like, oh, Scorpio doesn't need Boost technology. It doesn't. Well, it's not necessarily Boost. They didn't change the hardware on the PS4 Pro. All they did was a firmware update to properly utilize it. If it's just software properly utilizing the hardware was already there. It's just a matter of updating it and making sure that it's tweaked. So that kind of argument is a little fanboyish, a little bit ignorant. That being said, I still don't think it's going to be as good as a Scorpio. I think the Scorpio by itself, at least what we know, who knows when it comes out, maybe it's going to get the red ring of death and people are like, wow, not this again. We don't know until it hits the market. But I think both of those systems, the Scorpio and the PS4 Pro with Boost, those are the systems that we all deserved, you know, instead of the Xbox One, instead of the PS4. Anyway, those are just my thoughts on it. What do you guys think? I mean, am I asking for too much? Are the PS4 really, was that enough? Was the Xbox One enough? Was that enough for you guys? I don't know. For me, it was kind of a letdown. It's fine. It's not like it's a horrible system. I bought a Xbox One first before I got my PS4. PS4, yeah. I was going to say Pro. I don't have a Pro yet. I don't even know if I'm going to get one. Honestly, I'm kind of tired of it. Maybe I'll even get an Xbox Scorpio. Who knows? I don't know at this point here. I'm kind of a little annoyed with the whole situation. Like to know your thoughts though. Are you planning on getting it? Do you have a PS4 Pro? Are you going to be activating, or do you have to get the firmware for the boost? I don't know why you wouldn't want it. And how do you feel about that, the Scorpio and the PS4? Well, like these systems coming out after we've already given to these companies, or after we've already invested in this and we're excited for it, and then all of a sudden I find it a bit of a slap in the face. Now I want to talk about E3. As I said, I've been to E3 three times. Three times. You know, three. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just going to be completely honest. I'm not overwhelmed with it. I don't find it that crazy. You know, it's a big convention. The tickets are super expensive. Now, before it was open to the public, a ticket, if you were an industry professional, a media, or whatever the case may be, was about, I think it was $1,000. $1,000, man. I have no idea what the cost of the PAX ticket, but I can't imagine, since it was meant for gamers, to get gamers and us fellow nerds in there and playing those games. You know, I'm not saying nerds is a bad thing, but like, nerd! You know, going in there to play games, I can't see it being $1,000. Actually, can you let me know what the price is? I know I could look it up easily, probably somewhere, but I am curious. Hit me up on Twitter on that too, because I'll be looking at that all day. So anyway, E3 is an industry sort of convention. They do a lot of big announcements, a lot of big trailers. All the huge titles are there. You know what I mean? But what you don't know, and what you may see in other articles, I'll try and find some and I'll put them in there to substantiate this. But the lineups are ridiculous. If you're going there because you think you're going to be playing a lot of games, yeah, you're going to sit in a line for like 2 hours to play like 5 minutes of a game. I kid you not. It is more about just seeing really nice looking fancy things, big announcements, big media conferences and everything like that. And at $1,000, I don't know if they're going to decrease the price, but $1,000 ticket, you better make sure that you're just going there because you want the experience. Maybe just go once if you have the cash to burn. But my understanding, and I've never been to PAX, but my understanding is PAX is more about the gamer. It's more about you and I, the consumer that's buying it, and going there to get hands-on and everything like that. You know, it's a very different convention. Very, 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 very different. $1,000, man, if they don't drop that price, you better be damn sure that you want to actually go there, because that is super expensive. Anyway, I'm not going to dwell on that because I can't really compare the two. I know what's at PAX, and in PAX you got a lot of those indie games, a lot of those sort of really small developer games, so you get to see all those sort of indie titles that aren't necessarily at E3. E3 is like big. Every single huge game is there and it's dominating everything. You got a couple of small booths here and there scattered throughout with the indies, but it really isn't concentrated on that. There's not a lot of time for gameplay and stuff like that. It's busy, gets busy, you know, like PAX and everything like that, but mainly people in suits, you know, media, that sort of stuff there, but I don't know, man. Just make sure you got the cash. I don't know if they're gonna raise, if they've even announced the cost of it. If it's $1,000, you better just make sure, man. I'm telling you, I'm warning you right now, it is not the same. If you're thinking it's going to be like PAX, it's not. Most of the time, I think it's better to save your money, sit back, watch the live streams or whatever that you get on the internet. Way better. I have no plans, honestly, of ever going back to another E3. And like I said, I've been to three of them. They're just, I don't know, man. It's just boring. And I love video games. I do video games for a living. I want to see that. I want to see but the hands-on I just found it's not hands-on. It's all the stuff that we've already seen. You already know that it was coming, other than the trailer. And honestly, I would much rather watch it on my PC at home. But that's just me. Have you been to E3? Have you been to PAX? Have you been to both? What are your feelings? Do you like E3? Which one do you think is better? People, let other people know. Put those comments down below and let other people give an honest opinion. Don't be jaded, though. But just give an honest opinion, like, for what? Which one is good for? Do you like them? Is it worth the money? What are the cost differences? Help the viewers out and other people watching this as well. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Just giving them a little piece of my mind, my opinions on this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. I'll see you guys in the next gun shop.